Hello everybody, welcome back to Lono Farms. This is Farming Simulator 2017. We are in the process of cleaning up the straw after grass seed harvest. So we're out here dragging it into windrows. We're almost done with the field north of the house. When we're done with this one, we'll move to the one behind the house, field 44. We don't have a very large farm at the moment, so a lot of our field work has only been confined to a handful of fields in here. But we have rain on the way. It's coming tomorrow, so I really want to get all of this rode up, turned into bales. And I'm not real wild about the baler that I have. I'm half considering selling it so I can get some square bales, but I'm a little bit in the hole. Maybe I'll just check the equipment contingent here again. Maybe there are some things I could sell that I don't need at the moment that we could use. I've used that in the fields. We need to be able to do a little bit of this. I'm not sure I need my sprayer at the moment. Um, I'd only get 36,000 for this particular baler, and got this tank. I'm gonna need that. Yeah, I may have to even sell a little bit of crop. Um, let's check that out. I'm trying to remember. I think I gave grass seed its own profile, if you will, in the menu. That's regular grass, but, well, I thought it was. Oh, this isn't what I wanted. No, that's planting stuff. Here's what I'm after. So I want to come down here to grass seed. Somewhere down here I have it. Yeah, see, the really what I like to do is sell the seed when we're up here, but I almost wonder if this is going to have to be good enough. It's kind of at a low point, but I don't have much choice because I don't have much money. So I'm thinking I may need to truck some of that in. Maybe I can do that later today while the prices are still somewhat elevated up here. But this is kind of the general profile. I think it was higher more in the spring months. So that's one area I can generate some money. We done here? That looks like, oh yeah, that's one last window. I better let him finish his job here, or her. I think I have a she running the tractor at the moment. Yep, last windrow, and then we'll take it to the other field down south and keep this moving. So maybe, like I say, with selling a little bit, we can afford a decent baler. I probably should see how much those cost. Sewing machine, baling technology. To do. Roll belt, that's the one I have. 102,000. That's kind of what I need to clear. Or there's the add-ons from Comprima. Is this a round bale or see that's 81,000. Well, but it requires rolls to put in there too. These, yeah, require other parts. Yeah, I can't tell. I don't know enough about these particular machines to know what kind of bales it turns out. Maybe the answer is right in front of me and I just can't tell. But that would be a little bit cheaper if I could do it. But more likely, I'll probably stick with something that I know will work, which is namely this one right here. So 102 grand I got to come up with. I can't borrow anymore because I've probably financially mismanaged some things. It is what it is. All right, let's head down to our second field and we'll get her going on this one. And in real life, I know we would windrow things during the hay harvest, but honestly, I don't know how much of that they did in the fields. For a while, they had another outfit. They farmed it out, who took care of the baling the straw following harvest. And I almost think they spread it. I don't know if they had a big old buck rake or something that they used to I hope I could get the right field to do all the raking, or if they had equipment on the baler unit itself that just kind of gathered it from a certain distance wide for baling. Alright, let's see what kind of a course is made. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. I think that'll be workable. Let's save this real quick. 44. Oops, did I not land it there? 44 dash windrow. So we can follow the course with our baler. Get her going and get her on down the way here. Boom, there it goes. So, let's see, while this is doing that, that's the tractor, here's the truck. Okay, truck, let's go make some money. Kind of avoid these boulders that are sitting here. Let's see if I can load up with this here. I think it's the biggest unit I have to... Hopefully it... Yep, it takes it. Let's go get some seed and haul it to market. I think the output is over here, if I'm not mistaken. All the stuff we put into storage. No wheat, of course, but hopefully it has our... Oh, you can store even silage in here. Oh my goodness, you know what? Some of this straw, silage, wood chips, total mix ration has no place in here. But I'm pretty sure what I did is I modded it for someone I was playing this map farm on a server, and I think he wanted the ability to do that, so I built it in. Sorry, Bullet Bill, if you're looking at this. I hope I didn't totally screw up your map. Sometimes when you play with other people, it's just what they want to do. So here's our grass coming in here. We're going to haul it to market. Now, where do I haul it to market? Who has the best prices? I think these are the prices. Go clear down. Where's grass seed? Right here. Agri, XJS, or the BGA, the barn. I'm not sure where that is. Lone Wolf has the highest at 965. So we're going to go visit Lone Wolf. And I don't think we even have much. Well, we'll have a couple truckloads out of this. Alright, Lone Wolf, here we come. We're coming to see you. Now, in real life, and I intend to cover this at some point, you know, right here to my left would be a grass seed cleaner. We wouldn't be doing this in real life, hauling it bulk in a truck to go sell it. When I worked on the farm, there was a lot of work done with the seed after harvest, after it was combined, you know, running it through the seed cleaner. We're going to go this way. It isn't technically the way to go, but in real life, this road would go all the way through, as I think I've shown already in previous videos. You know, this would be 117th Avenue in real life. So we're just going to go down here, and we're going to go find Lone Wolf. I think it's at the other end of the map here. One of these days, we shall own more land out here as we build our little farm. I think as I showed kind of in some pictures before, this is Kinsey Way. Name for my grandfather is the last name. And I think, is this where we're going to cut across the field, or, yeah, maybe it is right here. We're just going to continue on that way. That gravel road would continue 119th. It heads out to the main highway, which is what we would drive on if there was a sell point up here, you kind of like bullet bill built into the map. Yeah, up ahead up there is places to take root crops, potatoes, and sugar beets. Like I say, I mean, we do grow potatoes and sugar beets in this state, but sugar beets in this area are harvested for their seed, not for the beet. And potatoes are over more in the eastern or central part of the state. That tends to be where they have those, kind of in the Columbia River Basin, if you will. Direct ahead is a lone wolf, I believe. So we're going to head in here and hopefully make our fortune. Fortune. Whatever, right? Let's take it across the scale. I can't even hardly see, but the weight is 29,401. 29,401 what? Pounds? Kilograms? Maybe it's kilograms. I don't know. Alright, here we go. Money, money, money. Yeah, maybe we just need to sell a little more grass. We're putting some money in the bank here. I don't know how many loads we have to bring over, but all from our little combine. Here's one of the few placeable areas that Bullet Bill put into the map. And kind of like I mentioned a little bit ago, I played a lot of time on a server with a couple other folks, and there were some additional areas I added to the map, kind of as placeable areas, if you will. Oh no, that was kind of dumb. Whoop! Got my truck dinged up a little bit, pulling out in front of another driver. I guess now people observe that, and now they know why I made so many bloopers on the farm, huh? But yeah, in real life, we would never have taken a bulk load of seed like that to go sell it. And to this day, I still don't think they do that. I do think the industry has moved a little more towards bulk, but back in the day when I did it, everything was in 50-pound sacks. And so you run it into the grass cleaner, it would come into the cleaner in bulk, but it left in bags, and it was just a lot of work. You know, I look at my hands, these hands have handled a lot of 50-pound sacks. It was wonderful exercise working in there, sack by sack, stacking them on pallets, and a truck would come in to pick them up, and we would load it in there by hand. A lot of times we didn't send our pallets, we didn't even stack them on the truck with the forklift. A lot of times we would offload from the pallets by hand into the truck and send our sacks of seed off. It was very labor intensive, and obviously the shipping agent, when the truck got to the destination, all of those sacks had to be manually hauled out of there by someone. So now I think they are more kind of in a pallet unit, a pallet box, if you will. I think that's how they maybe handle some of the seed in bulk, if you will. Let's get another load. Got a couple of them in here. Bountiful Harvest. See again the price. Did that move the price any? Knocked it down a little bit. We still can take it up there, I think. We'll sell it Lone Wolf again. Good enough place to take our business. Lone Wolf, incidentally, and you'll notice Bullet Bill did this in a number of ways on the map. If you look at, oops, we're not full yet. Almost jumped again. And in real life, I would need to tarp this thing, but I don't know that I'm able to cover it, right? Yeah, I don't think I can cover it. But like, if you look at the mailboxes on the map, the names that he put on the mailboxes are for a number of his friends. And some of the sell points are named also for some of his friends. So Lone Wolf, I believe Lone Wolf is the same person that had the nickname Farm Farm that I met on FSUK, and he made a number of models for this particular map. I believe he made the power poles, may have made the windmill, and might have been a few other things. I'm not sure what all he modeled. A really nice guy. So one of the, because he was so helpful, that's probably why Bullet Bill named one of the selling points after him, and that's the one we're taking the seed to. Sometimes it can take a lot of folks working together to make a map like this. You kind of have a master planner, designer, and then little helpers along the way to help put the various pieces into play in order to create the map. Nobody has 100% of the skills needed to do a lot of this stuff. I mean, there's a handful of people that are very versatile. And I now know Bullet Bill in particular has expanded his skills even more. It used to be he only handled the mapping aspect. He didn't get into the modeling part. And I think he handled a lot of texturing and that kind of thing. But now, I mean, he can build his own models, and they're just awesome. He's putting together some wonderful work. But for this particular map here, I know Oxygen David helped him with a number of models, particularly back on the main farm. But I don't know who made which model there. Uh, well, let's see. Run it over the scale one more time. 29,401. What do you know? It's exactly the same as when we were last here. Huh. Let's dump it in again and get some money. And I think I mentioned this previously. I still wonder if I have this balanced properly. Putting the grass seed mod in here. Obviously I'm racking up some money here. And this is even on the hard mode. Um, yeah. When I had the map on the server, I think I used a placeable area just in back of here. I put and this would never be there in real life, but I put a fabric factory there. Fabric meaning you could send wool up there and it would turn it into colored fabric, red, yellow, blue, green, that kind of thing. And then you could sell the pallets of it somewheres. So I added one of those. I added another placeable that is probably more closer to what you might see in this area, which had something to do with timber products, forestry products, if you will. A place that made particle board from wood chips. You could haul them up there, dump them in, and it would turn it into particle board on pallets. And again, you could sell those somewhere. We actually do have that, not obviously in the Lone Oak area, but Oregon is well known for the timber industry. Lots of timber here, lots of sawmills, and that kind of thing to deal with it, plywood factories and so forth. So that was somewhat realistic, but no, you would never see a fabric factory. Years and years and years ago, there was a mill, I think down in the capital city of the state, Salem, a Mission Mill, I think it was called, that was set up to make cloth, fabric, and that kind of thing from wool. But anymore, there just aren't that many sheep in the area. We don't raise cotton here. It's not the right climate, so generally don't see that kind of manufacturing in this area. So depending on how long I'm able to keep up the series, we'll see what kind of things we get into in terms of placeables or whatever. But right now, I'm just trying to survive and keep my bills paid, and I would sure like to have one of those nice. And hey, do I have enough? 80,000. If I sell, how much is this worth? 80,000. That's going to take me up to 116. Is that enough to buy a new one? It is. It is. It is. All right. So I'm gonna forego hauling any more seed. Maybe what I'll do is just park it here. I'm gonna park the. Although as I think about it, I want a flatbed. You know what? We're gonna haul another one. One more. It is what it is. I want to afford or grab also a flatbed trailer. I have no idea which one of these categories it would be in. Maybe low loader? I'm pretty sure I have an auto loading trailer. Would it be in the miscellaneous? No, it's not. Well, maybe it's in the bale technology. If self-loading, aha, here it is. Universal auto load, 17,000. So I wouldn't technically need a full truck, but that's what we have. So I'll take it. All right, now the price at Lone Wolf has declined, so we're going to haul seed to Agri XJS. I think XJS was another friend of Bullet Bill's. I don't know that this one necessarily is any closer, but we'll head up there and sell some bird. Ooh. Well, this keyboard driving, I tell you what. I do have a steering wheel, but I haven't set it back up on here ever since I changed from my old laptop to this one here. Maybe I should have one of these days. This time we'll hang a right and we'll head up to Agri XJS. Talking about bulk hauling of seed versus in sacks, kind of like we did back in the day. I don't know how they do this on the cereal grains. I'm not familiar enough with that particular industry, but there's got to be something similar where the buyer has to be able to know somehow what they're getting. Wheat sometimes is handled in bulk in massive barges and ocean-going freighters, where they dump it all in there in bulk. It's in these enormous compartments. There's no way to tell if you are getting wheat or dirt, in the middle of that boat. And so, but there must be a mechanism to somehow be able to tell. Oh, no, autosave. But I know for the old style, or with the grass seed, in the sacks, we periodically have someone come out to the grass seed cleaner, and they would have these probes, that they would push into the side of the sack, and it wouldn't, the probe wouldn't destroy the integrity of the sack. They could pull it in, and it was made so that it would extract a sample somewhere in the middle of the sack or whatever. And we would sell the seed typically in lots, and a lot would have anywhere from 40 to 50,000 pounds. Maybe there'd be bigger lots. Basically, we tried to set it up so it'd be a single truckload was a lot, or single truck, tractor, trailer combo, if you will. And so they would all be stacked in these rows and rows of pallets, and so when the inspector would come in, we'd have to get them down for him or her to put the probe in there. But they wouldn't take care to have separate samples. They would just poke it into this bag, poke it into the next bag, kind of indiscriminately at random or whatever, and they would take the seed out, and then they would run a test on it. This is where I say the buyer needs to know or have some idea to figure out what they're buying. So the sample would often be taken to a lab. They would make sure it was the exact seed that they thought they were getting, that they weren't getting something bogus, and that it was cleaned adequately, that they weren't getting a whole bunch of chaff with it, or a whole bunch of weeds, or that kind of thing. So, there was a mechanism to test. And like I say, I don't know how they do that with the grain. It probably was some system similar to sample it as farmers brought it in, and then maybe once it reached the ocean-going tanker things, that it was put in bulk. Maybe it was just different in shipping it internationally. I mean, I'm sure there was a mechanism to do it. But it could be that that was a mechanism that the grass seed industry had for sampling and whatnot, and it just took time for technology to change or catch up. I know they make bigger probes. You can handle it bulk, and you can still get a probe even into the middle of a pallet box and extract something out of the middle if you wished. And I remember years ago when I was writing papers on various ag topics and stuff in school, and I came across a term, I think it was called stovepiping, where if you were a dishonest farmer, person, or whatever, whether it was grass seed or grain, what they would do is open a sack and they would put a stovepipe in it, literally a stovepipe, which would traditionally be put up on a roof or whatever, but a stovepipe big enough to fit in the sack. They would put good grain in between the sack and the stovepipe, and then they would put a bunch of garbage inside the stovepipe itself. And then when they were done, they would pull the stovepipe out of the sack, and it was open on both ends, so it was really easy to pull out. And there you went. You basically had a sack with good grain on the outside and a bunch of garbage on the inside. And there was enough good grain so that if the inspector put a probe into the sack, that's what their probe would gather, would be the good grain. And if the probe wasn't long enough, couldn't reach into the middle of the sack, you wouldn't know that it had a bunch of garbage or what have you. Obviously not an honest business practice, but that is what some people would do, and whether someone ever tried it with grass seed, I don't know. Not a good thing to do if you want to be a reputable businessman. Now, one thing you could do that was legitimate is when you sold it, if all you had to have was 98% purity, well then, my goodness, don't try to get 99% purity. Why not sell them that extra 1% of chaff or inert matter, as long as it wasn't weeds? As long as they had the 98% purity, the other 2% could be chaff or garbage. So why not sell it to them? The price is all the same. Now, I think I want to... Where's my baler? Where is the baler? I kind of think it's in this shed over here, right? Let me see. Yeah, haha, there it is. So I'm gonna dive in here. I have a hitch on this trailer. No, I don't. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to need to take this up there anyhow, because I want to just purchase it here. That was over in Baling Technology. I want to buy this trailer. Maybe I want a trailer hitch. I don't care about the tires. Trailer hitch behind it means I could potentially get another trailer that I could hitch up behind it. I've seen that occasionally, a flatbed following behind. I would need a dolly, but for the moment, all I want is this trailer. 17,700. This will allow me to auto load the bales. Now, let's see, I have 105, just perfect, just enough to get this big baler here. Let me select that by, yep. I think that's everything. Let me just sell this. I'll just sell this outright because I don't need it. Maybe it wasn't technically according to how it should be done. All my big tractors out there dutifully windrowing field 44. I'll just head on up and get the trailer and bring it home. It's up at Manning's dealership up there. We were just up there offloading some seed so we could afford all this. now we're comfortable. We have about 40 grand in the bank. We'll go get this trailer and bring it home. And my goodness, I look at the clock, and we are already past a half an hour. So, you know, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll go over it a little bit. I'll just head on up there and at least bring the trailer home. And the next one I'll get home off cam, maybe have it ready for when we return back in here. I'd be curious, anybody in the comments, what do you do with bales? You know, this is something where the game has evolved quite a bit over time. I think it's improving. I know there's a lot of people that complain about the game's physics. And definitely, if you were to go back to Farm Sim '09, no doubt about it, those bales were completely unmanageable. Just awful. You know, I remember making a bunch of them and getting everything ready to go haul them in, and boy, it took me 2 seconds. I saw I really have a problem. So I think I made a whole bunch of them, and this was before I knew there was a mod in FS09. Yeah, this isn't legal to pass on this particular stretch of road, but I'm going to do it anyhow. But it was before I discovered there was a mod, or maybe it was a gold edition, where the Giants made a bale handling piece of equipment, you know, where you could pick them up automatically. That was so handy, so helpful. But otherwise, you could not stack the bales on the trailers. Even if you could get them up there, and that was a tenuous experience at best, those flags, those are hard objects. That's the hardest flag I've ever been through. There, maybe now I can kind of get in here and pick up the trailer. I'm destroying this truck. There we go. Off to home. Let me get this set up. Let me see, it's set on square bales Z, so you know what? I think it's all ready to go. So once we get the bales made, yeah, this is going to be quite handy to have. But what do you all do with bales? And okay, folks, this is going to be a leap to passing. Here we go. I don't know how the lines on the road are in other nations, but when you have that dotted line, that means there is sufficient visibility. You can pass and go around another vehicle. What I did coming the other way was illegal. When you have just a single dash line, either side can pass. Now it wouldn't be right for me to pass because there isn't visibility, or there's a corner coming, that kind of thing. But back to bales, how do you guys handle it? I mean, I know some people are wizards on bale handling. Their motor skills on their hands are just way better than mine will ever be, and they have a lot of patience, and they've developed skills to be able to handle the bales in the field. So it isn't any big deal for them to head out there with a tractor and a front end loader. They just pick them up like it's no problem and stack it on the trailer, and done. Me, I can do a little bit of that, but it doesn't take much for it to be a very long process, or for it to screw up royally, and then I have bales scattered all over creation after I painstakingly tried to stack them up and do it the right way. But yeah. But some of you all out there may be one of those experts that I'm talking about. And like I say, I mean, it's a game, right? You pick areas. You know, I know there's people that will aim for as much realism as they can, but it's impossible to be entirely realistic in a game like this. So, you know, it just is what it is. You pick your battles, and sometimes, you know, you just don't want to handle bales, so you pick them up automatically. Well, we're almost done windrowing this field here, so I think I'm going to call the episode here. Thank you so much for watching and dropping by. Wish you a good day, good week, good night, whatever it is, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.